All right, and welcome back to another episode of Phrasing FM, a podcast where I talk about languages and my experience building an app to learn them. Today, I want to talk about, well, let's see. There isn't even really a topic here that I want to discuss, but I want to discuss a thought that has long been on my mind when it comes to language learning and fluency in general. And that is the idea that nobody has ever left a conversation and thought to themselves, wow, that was really grammatically correct. I mean, that, that sounds like a preposterous thing to walk out of a conversation and think to yourself. And yet, when we're learning a foreign language, we are always so concerned with making sure that we are grammatically correct. We want to make sure that we have a perfect accent that's native like, and we want to make sure that we don't make any mistakes and that we know all of the words that we need to know. And agree, these are laudable goals, except for the sounding like a native. I have a whole episode about that. But embrace your accent, I say. But not making mistakes, knowing all the words, being very understandable, not making any grammatical mistakes, all very good, laudable goals. But it's not the point of language. The point of language is to communicate with others. The point of language is to convey meaning between two people in whatever means necessary. And this thought always reminds me, and I can't remember if I saw this in a conference talk or if I saw this on a YouTube video or where I saw this, but somebody was explaining when they were in China and they needed fish oil pills. And so they went to a pharmacist and they said, I need fish oil. And the pharmacist spoke some English and she's trying to have the conversation, but there are two different pills and she doesn't know how to describe the different diseases on either side. And she's struggling and she's trying to get all the grammar correctly and trying to conjugate things and put these sentences together until eventually another pharmacist walks over and says, hot skin, which immediately cleared up the answer. I mean, that was all the information that you needed to convey in this exchange in order to make the right choice. And you didn't need full sentences. You didn't need to talk about the benefits. You didn't need to wax poetically about the difference between the two or know the names of the diseases or conditions or symptoms that somebody might have to know which one to choose. You just need to convey the information. And I feel like this really should be the first goal of a language learner. Be able to have these heart or skin conversations. Be able to make comments. Be able to understand the gist of something that's going on. Be able to communicate, even if it's not grammatically correct, but communicate in a natural, native, fluent manner. And I mean, in a conversation that takes place at a natural, native, fluent speed, prosody, etc. And yet, when we learn a language, we're normally so focused on making sure that we conjugate everything correctly, that we have proper sentences, and you end up speaking, I speak some English. I am learning every day. I like to walk my dog. And we end up speaking these. Yes, they're grammatically perfect. Yes, they're grammatically complete. They're full sentences. They are conveying meaning. We can analyze them until the cows come home. But I feel like we spend so much time focusing on this and so much time focusing on perfection that we lose sight of just communicating with other people. And so for me, this this concept that nobody has walked away from a conversation and been like, wow, that was really grammatically correct. Like the reason people talk and want to talk with you and remember your conversations is because you had something worthwhile to say, or because you said it in a clever manner, or because you said it in a way that made them think. Like there are so many other aspects of communication that we should be focusing on, especially with language learning, than just grammar and correctness. So that's my super short episode today. Like I said, not really any topic, but there was a topic. If any of this sounds interesting to you, I've been working on a language learning application for the last 3 years. It uses a novel method to learn languages. It combines language acquisition and space repetition to help you learn language from native level complex sentences on day one. So it's available at Phrasing.app. Check it out. If you like this episode, like, subscribe, consider sharing it with any of your polyglot friends, and I will catch you in the next episode. Ciao.